If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, February 11th, 2014. I'm your host, Jeff Cummings. Last weekend in South Bend, Indiana, Tim Welsh coached his final dual meet for the Notre Dame men's swim team as he prepares to close out a 29-year career with the Fighting Irish. But his season is not over yet. There's the Atlantic Coast Conference Championships and the NCAA Championships coming up, so Welsh still has plenty of work to do. But first, he's joining us now in the Finis Monitor from South Bend. Coach, it's good to see you. How are you?
I'm fine, Jeff. It's good to be with you as well.
Congratulations on a great career at Notre Dame, and even though I said it's not over just yet. It's
not over, but it sure adds up to a lot of days. We just come here every day to do what we're supposed to do, and then when you look back, it's been great. I've loved it here.
Yeah, probably a bit of a whirlwind too. You kind of like, where did all these years go?
Exactly.
Well, you know, you had a lot of dual meets over the years, but I would imagine this one on this past Saturday is probably going to be the most memorable.
It's going to be one of the most memorable for sure. No, it's the longest running rivalry on our schedule, and it started before I even got here. So it was great to end with a team that had been on our schedule for so many years.
Yeah, what was it like to be able to coach your last meet against Cleveland State, which was the team that was your first dual meet?
Isn't that surreal?
It
just happened that way. We did not plan it. And for even bigger coincidence, Wally Morton at Cleveland State is also here, and this was also his last dual meet. So a lot of serendipitous things came together there.
So I bet that when you two shook hands at the end of the meet, it was very symbolic, very emotional for both of you.
Absolutely.
Well,
in fact, Dennis Stark was at the meet, our previous coach. So we did get to take a picture with Dennis and Wally and me, and that'll be a memorable one for all three of us.
Yeah, I'm sure all three of you will look back on that moment as kind of where everything just came together in one place.
Exactly.
I want to talk about a couple of moments at the meet. The first one being this national anthem that played. Every meet has a national anthem, but this one was a little bit different. After many years of requests, from what I understand, you got them to play the tuba at this national anthem. So I want to give the viewers a chance to watch it before we move on.
Please stand and face the flag by the diving platform as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, performed today on a tuba by Notre Dame juniors, Steve Gilchrist.
Thank you. Thank you. I've always wanted that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem.
I've always wanted that to happen.
Really?
Oh, for years I've wanted that to happen.
All I can do for you.
Thank you very much. It was great.
Congratulations, Jack. Good job this summer in high school.
It was great. Thank you. I love it.
So from what I can tell, you were pretty emotional there. Was it the fact that you finally got the tuba to play the national anthem? Was there just a little bit more than that underneath?
Well, there's a lot more than that, but I didn't get the tuba to play. That was a surprise to me. Matt Tallman did all of the behind-the-scenes work, and he created all the big surprises. I had been wanting the tuba to play the national anthem for many years, and then when it finally showed up, I just dissolved with all of the other stuff going on. Here at Notre Dame, the tuba section walks through the student union before every football game and toot their way through. and we don't have a way to walk through the pool. But I always thought it would be cool and pretty Notre Dame-ish if the tubers were on our diving platform playing the national anthem, and it happened. It was beautiful.
Why do you think you couldn't get it to happen until your last meet?
I guess I didn't try hard enough. I didn't know who to ask. Matt got it done. You know, he's good at getting things done, and he got this one done.
Well, that's good to hear. And then the meet got underway, and then in the first individual event, Frank Dyer set a school record in the 1,000, 9:11, pretty good swim. Did the two of you talk about going after that record, or was it unexpected for you?
No, that was planned for quite a while. He wanted one chance to see if he could break the school record in the 1,000. So he knew for a while that that's the time he would have to attack it, and we knew for a while that that's when the attempt would be made. So we were all pretty geared up for that swim.
And, you know, Frank obviously has some good middle distance experience. He, you know, NCAA finals in the 200, also at the NCAAs in the 500. We don't think of him as a miler. So has he been doing a lot of distance training this season to kind of get to a 9:11, which, as I said, is pretty good?
It is pretty good. Well, you know, he now holds every school record from 50 through the 1,000, including the 100 butterfly. But, you know, we think that if he's going to race well on the 500, he needs to race above it and below it in the same way as 200. If he's going to race well on the 200, he needs to race well above it and below it. So this was part of his preparation for the NCAA, we hope.
Well, obviously the goal is to get him back into the finals of that 200 free. I know that was a big moment for you guys in 2012. He had a pretty good meet in 2013, didn't get back into those finals. So what are you guys doing? As you said, I know obviously, as you said, he's got to be able to swim above and below the 200, but what are you guys doing to ensure that his final NCAAs, he can get in that top 8?
Actually, Jeff, it's what he's doing. He has been training with a purpose and with passion and with some specificity all season long. He has just been focused every time he puts his big toe in the water. So it's all on Frank. He's all the work, and he's doing the preparation. And I think he's prepared to have, you know, end on a grand note, and that's certainly what we all hope for him.
And that's probably the type of swimmer that you like to have, one that is pretty self-motivating.
They're the best.
Makes your job a lot easier.
You know, Frank has been a great swimmer for us. He's been a great leader. He's been a great model. He's a great personality. You know, he's just been a wonderful human being and a great athlete for us, and we're very proud of him.
Well, hopefully you'll get a lot more athletes besides Frank to the NCAAs. Last year you had 9 go, including Frank. I'm sure you'd like to get into double digits, have 10 or 11, maybe even 12 go this year. What's the likelihood of getting a large team to go with you to Austin this year?
Well, we're 2 weeks away from the ACC meet, so it's a bit premature, but we have our fingers crossed. We think everyone who went last year as an individual can get back. We think there are a couple more individuals who have a chance to go, and then the relays. So we are optimistic, hopeful, but we know better than to count our chickens, as the saying goes.
Well, let's talk about that ACC championships. This is Notre Dame's first year in that new championship, in that new conference. You've been in the Big East for many years. Give us your thoughts about racing in this new conference.
It's going to be fast, and it's going to be a challenge. We're excited by it. We've been excited by the opportunity to race in the ACC ever since it was announced. The Big East was fabulous for us, and it helped our program step up while we were there. And we think the same thing will happen by being in the ACC. We think that we will get better by being in this conference. So we're looking forward to see where we are to get things started here in a couple weeks.
And one thing I was really curious about is, you know, obviously it's a new conference. Everybody is kind of going against new swimmers. You know, nobody really knows what to expect. So in these 2 weeks, is it kind of more of a just telling these swimmers it's just another conference meet, or, you know, is there really some higher expectations going into this meet?
Both. You're inside the meet. It will live like a swim meet because swim meets always do. And so we know what to expect at a swim meet. We also need to be prepared and be focused and not let the newness of things be a distraction for us. Because, you know, the clock always has a good day.
Clock always has a good day. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, as I said, this is a 29-year career at Notre Dame. I'm sure there's a lot of memories you will take with you when your career is over, once your last swimmer swims in NCAAs. Is there any special moment from your time at Notre Dame that will always stand out for you?
Well, there are several, both on the plus side and on the minus side. Saturday's celebration was spectacular. It was over the top for me. I dissolved several times in the course of those couple of hours. That's an event always to be remembered, and I always will. So I think that was quite the send-off, and I'm still overwhelmed by it all. But many thanks to Matt for putting it all together and everyone who contributed. But it was fabulous. That'll be a highlight forever.
And speaking of Matt, he's going to be taking over the reins as head coach. He's been there with you for a few years. I imagine he's got a little bit of confidence knowing that, you've got confidence knowing that you're leaving this program in some very capable hands.
We are. I mean, Matt's hands are very capable. He has the vision that we need to move forward. It's time for the team, I think, to move forward, and it's time for me to step aside. But Matt has the vision to take us where we need to go. And, we're ambitious and optimistic about competing at a higher level. And that's the vision and the commitment that Matt has. So really excited to see him take over and let him step forward and me step backwards.
Well, before you step aside or step backwards, Coach, we're going to submit you to our final 5. These are 5 questions we ask all of our guests on the Morning Swim Show. So we're going to put you in the hot seat here with the first question. If you could change the order of strokes in the individual medley, how would you change it?
Good question. I'd probably put breaststroke first, sort of let it be there in the calm, cool, clear water, and then back, and then fly, and then free.
Okay. Other than coaching, what's a career or job you would most like to try?
College teaching.
Okay. Was that something that was ever brought up as a possibility at Notre Dame?
Well, I started out to be a college teacher, and I actually taught college before I was a coach. And my wife will tell you she thought she married a professor who was going to be home all the time. She will now. Yeah.
Next question for you, Coach. What's a career job you would not like to try?
Well, I'll tell you what's come into my head recently as we've seen more of the drug testing take place. Those poor fellows who get to witness drug testing, what an awful job.
Well, as someone who has gone through drug testing many times, I've always thought that too. It's like, this is not the best thing to do. But
no, that's an awful job.
If you could change or add any of the rules in the swimming rule book, what would it be?
In the swimming rule book? That's a really good question. Well, I think the proposals for breaststroke last year were just awful, so I hope they don't come back. And I think I would probably raise the limit on the number of individual events a person can swim.
You mean at NCAAs or something like that?
Yeah, or dual meets or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd raise the number of times people could swim.
Okay.
I'd change the scoring system, too, to something that's, instead of 9-4, I'd probably go 10-5, or some numbers that are, more easily held in my brains.
Right. And the last question for you, Coach, and this is probably something you've been thinking about as you close out your career. Where do you like to go most for vacation?
Right now, what we want to do is visit our sons. I mean, one of our sons will be one of our sons is on the faculty at Loyola in New Orleans. The other one next year will be finishing a PhD at Harvard. That's pretty far apart. So visiting our sons is what my wife and I probably want to do more than anything.
Well, I can think New Orleans is a great place to be. Harvard, you probably have to wait till it warms up a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Well, Coach,
actually last summer, the Harvard guy spent last year in Italy, and we went to visit him in Italy last summer, and that was spectacular.
Well, that is spectacular. I couldn't imagine a better place to be. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations, as I said, on a great career. We know it's not over yet, so good luck at ACCs and NCAA championships, and we'll see you on deck.
Jeff, thanks very much. This was fun.
My pleasure. All right, and our thanks to you as well for joining us for today's edition of the Morning Swim Show. Be sure to check us out on swimmingworld.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. I'm Jeff Cummings. Thanks for watching.